I come from a strong cottonwood tree in the north and a beautiful chitalpa of the south. I am from two similar Hispanic cultures, both of which run through my veins like the Rio Grande does New Mexico in early April. But most people would never believe this as my truth. The root of the cottonwood was started by my great-grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Cristino Gallegos, in June of 1939. From this union, they had 10 children, the third of which, a daughter Lorraine, would be my grandma. Petra, Nana y Piores, originally Romero from the southern part of the state, met James Papu y Piores in 1944. An immigrant from Greece who found his way to Albuquerque, Papu raised Nana's son, Sam Baca. My grandpa. 22 years later, through the gentle winds of fate, Sam and Lorraine would marry. This marriage would raid the roots of two similar cultures and bear fruit. A year after their marriage, the floor of their lives, my mother, Jennifer, was born. It is unclear if it is my mother's comforting smile or delicious bizcochitos which made her so favored, but regardless, even after the birth of La Morenita, the strong roots from which she was raised would prove their durability. My mother gave birth to me, Adriana Baca, a ray of her Catholic upbringing. However, I was still a branch from the chitalpa and the cottonwood from which my mother was raised.
Los pajaritos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Qué linda está la mañana en que vengo a saludarte.
As a child, I always knew where I came from. Summers at my great-grandma's house with my cousins, adventurous landscapes and mystic skies. But where I came from couldn't be explained simply by looking at me. I grew up as La Morenita, and my darker complexion and curly hair told everyone that I wasn't a Gallegos or a Baca, but that I was out of place. Growing up, I too was favored, like my mother was. Probably because I made bizcochitos almost as well as she did, but also because I listened. I listened when my great-grandmother told me that love, compassion, and tradition was important. Our family is from Rio Arriba County. Our history dates incredibly far back. But the stories told by the land and los viejitos are the only history we need to know. Summers in Vallecitos were always filled with adventurous landscapes and mystic skies, but first and foremost, work. Mornings were always early, and before any recreation, we had to help Grandma. We helped Grandma garden, water the horses, and wash the sheep. Religion was another core value in our community. My grandmother's goodbyes to this day resonate only because they were so holy. As a child, if you wanted something, you asked Grandma for it. Not because she had the money for it, but because she had the ability to pray for it. Family came second to religion, and those who attended Mesa Vista High School knew this best, because their teachers were las huergas de tus tíos, and the lunch lady was probably their mom. Today, it is the familiarity in all of this which I miss the most. The familiarity in family, the familiarity in seasons changing, religion, customs, traditions, the smells, and the freshness of the mountain breeze. I miss the land which my family conquered, homesteaded, and sustained not only for my generation, but also the generations to come. My grandmother's fondest tradition is community. Community in smaller towns is vital, because everyone typically holds the same morals and values, and everyone ultimately relies upon each other. Today, we are at war with modernity. Our culture, tradition, language, and customs are at risk. The wisdom the past teaches is also threatened. Today, we must all remember that knowledge without wisdom is dangerous, And so it is up to us to reclaim the importance of tradition. My matriarchal upbringing teaches me that tradition, family, and community are at the core of who I am. Las mujeres valientes. These are the women who paved the road for me, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. And they have also taught me that one day, I too will leave the steps for someone to follow.